giving you an idea of how I put a story together, and maybe you might be able to get some tips from there. I've been a TV journo for about 7 years now, and I would still say even today that the biggest thing is the deadline, and it can be in 5 minutes' time or 10 minutes' time or 2 weeks' time, but if you don't stick to your deadline, there's no point. So I suppose whenever you're gathering info or whatever, do you guys already have in mind when you want to put stuff up or when you want to get stuff together? Is there an idea of roughly how long you've got to go, would you say?
Well, we're aiming for a video per week, so 5 days probably between work and uni.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, my team's probably going for a video or two a week between the three of us.
Yeah.
But it's three of us in one camera, so it's the usual kind of juggle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I suppose there's nothing that replaces planning at all. Like if you plan really well and if you've got a really clear vision, then that's great. Say, for example, if you get the opportunity to maybe follow Gillard around, or if you know that she's going to be at a shopping centre or something like that, have an idea in your head of where certain pictures might go, and that actually takes time. Like I remember when I first started putting stories together, I didn't get the hang of it for about a year, and it used to take quite a long time to go, I've got these great pictures, where the hell is it going to go in the story? So it kind of, have an idea of if you want to talk about something, and if there's great pictures, particularly because when we're talking about, a visual medium, have in your head a clear idea of exactly where you want stuff to go, and that's just all about planning. Sometimes there will be things that get handed to you, like things will happen at the last minute, or something will just happen in front of you and you happen to be there with a camera, or, it's just great vision and you can't put your piece together without it. So always be flexible. Like I say, plan, but of course, be fairly flexible. So after having a fairly clear vision, I mean, besides getting pictures and your interviews, and I know there's been a workshop on interviews as well, I personally start with my grabs first when I put it all together. When you've kind of got all your vision, you're all sitting down there together, you're all brainstorming, right, how are we going to put this together? I actually start with my interviews first. I don't know how you guys do it. Some people just go, nah, got to start with the pictures first, but I personally go, what are these people saying and how can I build a story around it? So I always start with the grabs and literally go through the interviews first and then go, right, what are they saying? Have I got more opinions over one, or have I got more, I don't know, if it's starting to look a bit biased, then maybe I need to quickly go out and interview somebody else. So I always start with the interviews and then I work around it from there, from the scripts. In terms of putting all together, like I suppose everyone might think, oh God, where do you start? And as I just mentioned, I'd probably start with the grabs. But the other thing is, don't always forget, like you're injecting your own, like no matter what journalists say, they try to be completely down the line and fence-sitters and all the rest of it. You're still injecting a bit of your own personality, even just in the type of words that you use. Like it's almost inevitable that somewhere along the line, people get a piece of you in that story. So don't be afraid to kind of colour it to that extent, as long as it's not, completely skewing stuff, so it's just one really bad story about one side or the other or whatever. I mean, if you want to give people a lot of information and quality information, definitely put both sides, let them make up their own minds. But also don't be afraid to kind of, if you're out with a local member or something, and if they don't want to talk about asylum seekers, get the camera and have you walking with them with the microphone going, okay, so what is your policy? And if they can't answer, have you in shot, so it looks like, and this is not like in a current affair style or whatever, but just have it so you're actually there with them. Don't be afraid to kind of be in the shot as well, so long as it doesn't look too cheesy, of course, so that you're not everywhere popping up all the time. But, it kind of also shows that you're there, you're talking to people, and people love hearing about what other people have got to say about other people. So I think that's kind of another point that I would use. Don't be afraid to inject a bit of yourself in there. I'm just trying to think of, do you guys want to, pipe in or ask any questions, or, I mean, do you, just generally want to ask questions as I'm going along? So, Austin, you look like you're about to fall asleep.
No, not at all. I was listening intently. questions regarding that. I don't know enough about TV journalism to have any questions yet, really.
Yeah.
I'm all I really know is sort of print and a bit of radio, so I'm just sort of trying to soak it all up now.
Okay.
All I've had is what Drew's given us on video stuff and sort of TAFE courses on film when I was in high school, which was years ago now. So I'm just, I'm a little lost when it comes to putting a video together.
No.
Thankfully, we've got Adam on our team who's good, but yeah. So hopefully I'll have something to say to him at the next meeting if I listen carefully.
Look, I have to say, if you all watch TV and if you all like movies, you're already an expert. Seriously, don't let anyone tell you that, oh, look, someone's better at TV over somebody else. It's so objective. And, like, for example, I love really weird shows, like, for weird reasons. There's this journalist, Griff Rhys-Jones from the BBC. He's at the moment doing these series, I think they run on SBS, or they could run on ABC. I can't believe I don't even know that, but I'm quite addicted to his style because he's this old, kind of gruff journalist who's been around for ages, typically BBC trained, and he goes around and his job is to cover the great cities of the world. And the reason why I love it is because the pictures are incredible. I can sit there and look at aerial shots. Obviously they've jumped up in a helicopter and they've filmed Victoria Harbour in Hong Kong or something, but it's just so visually cool, and that's just my objective. I mean, that's just my opinion. So everyone.
Is he the guy who drives like sports cars around and stuff as well?
Sorry.
He's not the one, like, there's a BBC guy who, like, he goes to cities and he'll, like, drive, like, fast cars and stuff around, if that's, like, the city's thing.
He may have. The ones that I've seen...
I think I ran into this guy in Beirut.
Gosh.
He was doing in Beirut. He was I don't know, last year, it was a BBC, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's kind of, like, got
I think if the BBC
grey hair.
did the cities thing on, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Might be a different guy,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Well, look, he's brilliant because he just literally has great pictures. He can say the cat sat on the mat, but if it's this fantastic, incredibly, visual shot, then it's, I don't know, it kind of makes all the difference. So, there's that element where if you've got great pictures, let them speak for themselves. Like, for example, I didn't go out on the trail this week, but we obviously had a lot of pictures of the campaign coming in. And we know that Gillard... actually, it was Abbott who was out at a school, and he was getting mobbed by kids. And you don't see that every day, but you know that your fair share of babies, your fair share of kids, your fair share of, politicians in shopping malls are all going to be out there. But that picture of him and all the kids around him was quite... that's a great shot. I mean, you kind of, have your own opinions about it, but you can write to those pictures. You know that you have to use them somewhere along the lines. So you'll know, like, when you see something cool, or if it just, like, if you can play on words, or if there's like an interesting shot that can have a couple of different meanings, just go for it. Totally go for it. Yeah. I don't know. So do you have any?
Yeah. I was speaking to Drew the other day about how important it is to learn editing skills while I'm still a student.
Yeah.
Because he said that often now it's all desktop editing. Is that what you do with SBS?
Yeah, we've just actually brought it all in. Yeah. So we have got a system, we're on a system called Harris, which is, I suppose they're all similar to Final Cut Pro or Final Cut Express. I think the other ones are Avid and I don't know what the other ones are.
We're using Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah,
Okay. Premiere, yep.
Pretty big right now.
Yep, okay.
Adobe.
So, editing is important. Yeah, I would say if you can, get cracking. Yeah, it's one of those things. Oh, Austin's he needs to go to put out the dog, I think. Someone's dog's barking in the background. That's a great skill to have. It's so important. I mean, I've always wanted to be a TV journalist. I never wanted to do radio, never wanted to do print. I loved writing a lot of gibberish, of course. Fairyland kind of, I could write for 1,000 years in a diary kind of thing. But I always loved working with pictures, always loved TV, always loved film, always wanted to make films. So, if you can get your head around how to edit something, that helps hugely in the process of writing. You'll find it so easy to write because you'll be picking out all the best pictures first of all, and things will come to you. Yeah, I mean, you don't always have to say, the cat sat on the mat or whatever. Like, you don't have to be literal when you're writing a script. It can be, you know, someone's having a lazy day. You can have a line like that, and it kind of summarises what you're seeing. You don't have to, you know, kind of be so specific with your pictures. Yeah.